Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live. If it does not say live in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, unfortunately, oh my gosh, I'm clapped. Unfortunately, you are watching the recap, and refresh your page and click back to the main channel so you can get on the latest live stream. Oh man. I'm clapped. Oh my gosh. Woo. How are we doing? How are we doing? I'm a little bit later than normal today because the police, the cops just had to pull me over, apparently. But we're live. Either way, cops pulled over or not, we're live, baby. What is good? What is going on? Futures, NASDAQ is down 0.34%. Oil is up 0.70%. S&P down 0.18%. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 0.11%. We're coming off of some very good news from retail sales, from some China data as well. Or China news, I should say. Win Lambo. What's going on, baby? Ugans. Hey, that spread like wildfire, lol. What, the executive order? What is up, my bro? The main turns from the ground up. Bigums the AMC god. Win Suzuki. Man, I don't even know. That's like out of our price range at this point. Better late than never. Present. Pigs got quotas too, bro. I feel you. I feel you. And I actually couldn't find my registration. Don't worry about it. But they pulled me over because I guess my light on the back license plate was out. But man, I was driving, minding my own business. I'm drinking a damn ginger ale over here. Like, for real. And the cop passes me, and then he hits a Yui. Like, man, you knew you were gonna pull me over when you hit the Yui in the middle of the road. And I mean, I guess they were just seeing what I was up to. But they said the light's out, which I'll see. I actually didn't even look, but you know, it's good. It's good. AMC buying some NCMI thoughts. I've seen people talk about that. What is it? NCMI? Discloses stake in NCMI, National Sin Media Inc. Filed 13G form with Securities and Exchange Commission disclosing ownership of almost 6 million shares of National Sin Media Inc. This represents 6.8% ownership of the company. In their previous filing date, June 20th, 2018, the investor reported owning 0 shares, 0%. So brand new position. Obviously, we know that. So how many shares? 5.9. I just want to see what the dollar amount actually is on that. And it's going to be a rough ballpark because obviously, I mean, it was done in the last quarter. So it's not, necessarily going to be the same price. But geez, oh yeah. They're buying the dip. Oh man. They're buying the dip. Hopefully they bought the dip and not up here, though. But let's just say $1. Let's just do $1.50. Let's call it that. That would only be almost $9 million spent. So I think it's good. If AMC can throw out little seeds here and there and start taking stakes in companies, and they're only spending $9 million, even if granted, let's call it, even if they did spend, like, let's just call it, what were they trading at, 250? it would be $15 million. Still, it's a small amount of their cash. Like, the last thing that I want AMC to be doing right now is to be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on single investments, unless it's something like a no-brainer. Then I personally like these small investments that they do, because a small amount of money, especially in a stock like this, can go a very long way. Give it a little bit of time to grow for you. Looks like the company has been growing revenue pretty damn well too, actually. But yeah, I think it's good. Up 31% in after hours. Now, how crazy would it be if AMC bought into Tesla? Ooh. That would be crazy. Win Z06, man. I don't think our portfolios can handle anything more than like pedal bike at this current moment. Maybe a moped if you're feeling a little, spontaneous. Or maybe like a used, minivan. Or a used Oldsmobile. That's it, man. Elon gonna find out I have like 100 burner accounts. Said Elon's gonna find out. We run to 15-ish, then back to 13. Possible. Definitely possible. There's no real clear reason why AMC is rallying right now. I like to think it's because earnings were good, better than expected, and you did see all of those stakes in the 13F filings that are coming out, of people that are buying positions in AMC. That's definitely going to help. But I think I think the executive orders is playing a much bigger role to what we're seeing. And I think this could only just be the start of another big rally with AMC. After all, if you know about the executive order, like, it's down to the day. Like, the day of highs, or the day that the rallies really started in January and in June. I think that's too obvious to ignore. So you do tend to see run-ups the weeks before these executive orders did actually get implemented, right? AMC from $1.91 to about $4 or $5 before the executive order ever went into, I believe the 27th, I believe was when it actually got invoked. But comes down to literally the peak is like right when it goes back into effect. When the hedge funds can use Chinese collateral again is usually when you peak out. But when they can't use that collateral, that's when things really start to get crazy. I don't think Elon Invest is failing businesses. I don't know, though. No. I mean, I wouldn't bet against Elon, but that Twitter deal is terrible. Hey, chilling by a fire I constructed in my fire pit. I'm chilling and glad to be hanging with y'all. I'm glad you're here, James. Man, I'm glad you're here. Fires, even by yourself, so peaceful. That's one of my favorite things to do in the summer, is just to have a damn fire. Yeah, what's the big ordeal happening in June, supposedly to start the MOS? Yeah, it's that executive order, like, down to the day. We can briefly read it if you guys don't know what it is. But executive order, Biden's executive order, because obviously you can't keep Trump's executive order, but Biden's executive order 14032 replaced Trump's executive order 13959 last year. Executive order 13959 prohibited financial institutions to use Chinese securities as collateral momentarily. This propped up margin calls because of the large exposure our financial institutions have to Chinese securities. When these securities were no longer accepted as collateral on January 27th, 2021, AMC stock surged, and January 27th was this day where it just went parabolic. 301% rally that day. It says Biden then shortly passed Executive Order 14032, which gave institutions their collateral back for 365 days on June 2nd, 2021. And that was, go figure, the peak of the last rally or the last gamma squeeze, whatever you really want to call it. And then it says, well, those 365 days are coming to an end, and it seems June of 2022 could be a big month for AMC stock. And it's so coincidental, it's hard to ignore. So definitely could be good. Definitely could be good. But for this week as well, I think it's important to point out that we just had Fed Jerome Powell. We just had retail sales. We're going to get some real estate data. And that's really it. Like we have a pretty dry week after these Fed speakers spoke today. I believe we might have a couple throughout the week still, but it's not really going to move the markets in the same way as Fed Jerome Powell will and did today. Obviously, if you watch the S&P 500 like a crackhead, when it started to do, well, I say that because I definitely watch it like a crackhead. But this was the Powell effect. And what he said was not so good. So this is kind of like eerily similar to what happened the last Fed meeting. Powell came on initially, the markets dropped about 1%, hung out, bounced back and forth, and then started obviously skyrocketing by the end of the day. That's kind of what happened today with a semi-neutral close here. We didn't really sell off too big. We really didn't run up into the close. We kind of stayed at this level in between 407 and about 408.40 for the remainder of the day, in between that range. So you didn't get a clear direction by the close, but it looks eerily similar to the last Fed meeting and how the markets actually moved. The biggest thing I think Fed Powell did actually say is that neutral is not a stopping point or an inflection point. And that's kind of what they have been targeting and talking about this whole time, is getting interest rates to neutral. Now, neutral, call it whatever you want. I don't even know if there is a neutral rate, especially when rates have been so low for so long. But neutral is essentially where the Fed is not accommodating or they're not restricting money supply, financial conditions, so on and so forth. And there's a lot of debate what that rate is. A lot of people were having in mind about 2.5% to 3%, and Powell didn't give any clarification on what he thought the neutral rate actually was from the headlines that I seen. But just with that consensus there, and then the Powell saying, yeah, we're just gonna keep raising, like we're just gonna go for it. It's basically telling you that, hey, the federal funds rate is probably getting back up to 4, 5, 6, 7% as long as economic data remains well. Now, the big problem is going to be, and I wouldn't call it a problem necessarily, but when the stock market actually does crash, it's going to be like crash and get more of a V-shaped recovery. Right now, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but if you guys have not seen my video earlier on this, definitely go ahead and check it out. It is this video right here. This is when you will make millions, and we'll talk about it during this live stream. But essentially, the real market crash is actually going to happen when the Fed does get rates up to, 4, 5, 6%, and then we do, go into a recession or something along those lines. Once they kill demand so much, the economy starts to take a major hit. And it's happening now. We did just get encouraging data. So who knows if we go into recession in Q2? Well, it would be like Q3, because Q2 would be the last GDP report that we'll get if we're in Q3. And we could go into a paper recession, but if we don't, that's what is really going to cause the markets to crash. And then the V-shaped recovery will come in because, hey, the Fed at that point has rates to 5, 6, 7%, whatever their magical number is. And then they would be able to cut rates and accommodate the markets. But that little weird, like, potentially couple of weeks or even a couple of days before the Fed does U-turn, that's where you're really going to see a lot of that downside pressure. And then once the Fed comes out and says they will accommodate the markets again, you're going to see a V-shaped recovery. But hopefully, and what I was talking about here in this video, I hope nobody misconstrued the video, because I was hoping nobody didn't, or nobody did misconstrue it. But I was basically saying, like, the next year or two is probably going to be the last great buying opportunity that we will see for a pretty long time. Like, the last great buying opportunity we had without the Fed really being our friend necessarily. Like, you can't even technically say 2008 because the Fed was our friend. And you kind of did see a V-shaped recovery after a couple weeks of major selling to the lows. Fed stepped in and did what they had to do, and you kind of seen the V-shaped recovery. But you have to go back a very long time to like 2000 to actually see a marketplace where the Fed did not accommodate, and that downturn lasted about 2 years, right? Just pretty much going straight down for 2 years. Fed steps in, situation looks a little bit better, markets start to rally. But during this whole time, doesn't even matter where you were buying, but if you were just doing a little bit extra buying, if you're depending on what your kind of strategy is, this can vary from person to person, but by and large, if you're trying to make a lot of money here in the next 5 years, right now is the time to be buying high quality stocks that can make it through a potential recession or just a lot of negativity in the markets. And then, put whatever you can in, and eventually, whether it's a year or two from now, I think the markets will be in a much healthier situation, because it's very unfortunate. Like, the drops that we have seen in the past, you really don't have a lot of time to buy the dip. Like, whatever capital you have on hand or at your disposal is basically all you have to actually go out and buy the dip with. Like, you don't have too many paychecks coming in during the COVID crash, during the 2018 real crash in here. Like, you didn't have a lot of time. You only had like a couple weeks, a couple paychecks, whatever, your extra cash sitting around, and then the markets would just bounce straight back up. So the way that I like to look at this is really a long-term strategy for me personally, just to buy as much as possible. I don't even care if the markets go back up to 420, 430. A lot of very attractive stocks for the long term are just absolutely destroyed. But now, in that video I made earlier, some people were saying, like, you think it's gonna take 2 years for the MOAS? And that's not what I was saying. Not what I was saying at all. It's not going to take 2 years. Like, it's simply just not going to. There's a lot of reasons to why that is, but yeah. The battle for 1401. Oh man. We're doing that again? Yeah, leaps everywhere. See, I would just be careful with leaps right now, because the markets, they're not going to see a V-shaped recovery. There's not going to be a strong reason to buy the like a strong reason for a V-shaped recovery until the Fed stops raising rates as aggressively. The only way they are going to do that is if inflation goes down for months and months and months in a row. They've said, if we get a couple good reports, that's fine. We might slow down a little bit, but they're not going to stop raising rates until inflation is down to their target. Or, say if the rates are like 3 or 4%, then they would probably relax when the economic data started to turn down, but started to look worse. So yeah, you just got to be careful, because if you're buying 2024 options right now, and let's say, let's use an example here. Let's say Square. I love that company for the long term. It's just killer for the long term. SoFi as well. We'll use Square for an example here. I believe I have it pulled up on the chart. If I don't, I'll go ahead and pull it up. But leaps are obviously expensive, right? And this stock is obviously beaten into the ground. It was almost at $300 in 2021. Now it's at $84. So, let's say the markets just trade sideways for the next year, and you bought a $200 call. Let's say in a year or a year and a half from now, Square is at like 140 or 130. Considering the premium that you're paying for those options, probably going to lose money on them. So, I don't think we're really at that point where the time premium makes sense. But we will get to that point, and, doing a couple or doing one or whatever, it's not going to kill your portfolio. Hopefully not. But there's just not going to be a big reason to see a sustained rally, or to see stocks like Square, your fintechs, your non-profitable stocks, group them all together to see a major rally. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm back, boys. The algos are funny. Dude, the algos are so funny. Nobody even trades the markets. The algos trade the markets. And I kind of feel like we just buy shit and they just take our money and play with it. That's what it feels like at this point. But it's good. Will by chance go up with AMC, and by how much? It looks really good considering the move in after hours. You're up like 13%. So I think overall for AMC this month is probably going to be pretty damn bullish. Heading into that executive order, that's going to be I just truly think it's a very big deal. Just considering the correlation that we have seen over the past year with that, I think it's a pretty big deal. Now, hopefully my price prediction on Sunday was AMC would close in between 15 and 17.23, wherever the 50-day moving average was at the time. I really don't think we'll break out above that resistance, right? 50-day moving average. I don't really think we'll break out above that this week. Very possible. But I do think we will come up and try to test it in between 15 and 17. So that's my price prediction. That's what I expect. Give it a month. If we continue to see, 10% days, -5%, 15% positive, -10, and we start to go up slowly but surely, to see a couple 50 or 100% days after that to really drive this thing home, not out of the question right here. 2 years from OS. We're in year 2. Oh, man. Yeah. I guess you got a point. Made $15K in the past week, Tyler. I told you I would be back stronger than ever. There we go. There we go, baby. Gotta come back stronger. That's what I like to hear. This market is just brutal for any kind of swing trades. Even the scalps, man. This market is... I've been trading for a long time, and this is by far the most difficult market to trade in by a long shot. You can't even compare this to COVID of 2020 or 2018 or any of the other crashes that we have seen or corrections. It's much different because there's no direction. It's up, it's down. In 1 minute, you could go from a massively winning trade to a massively losing trade off of 1/2% candle or a 1/4% candle. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. There is no clear direction or sentiment, which I would say the sentiment is definitely down. But yo, Tyler, Mr. Simon in the building. Let's go, baby. IMPP. Why does that sound so familiar? Oh my god. Jesus. What happened? That's nasty. That's so nasty. But look at something like SoFi. Who has SoFi stock in this live stream? Put your hands up, because this thing is making me a little proud right now. I'm not gonna lie. We now have had 5 green days in a row since earnings came out. Massively bullish. I put 80K to Luna today. Is that smart? Say you're playing. Tell me you were joking, please. Put 80K into Luna? Oh my gosh. Let me see if you're joking first. So just let me know if you're joking. Is the market crash over? Won't everything just yank in a few days? Everyone is saying the MOAS is here. Well, the market crash is not over, but you've seen a lot of damage in the market. So you're kind of in like a weird situation right now. Like, on one hand, people are saying growth is slowing down, and it's obvious growth is going to slow down. I've talked about this for 6 months now, and Wall Street's finally catching on that when you massively prop up an economy with a bunch of funny money, is essentially what I like to call it, money people did not work for, they go out and spend it. Things are great. Economy is great. Well, if you're trying to compare the prior year with all that funny money to a normal year, when a lot of people have already spent that money and most of the money statistically ends up in the wealthiest hands that don't really spend that kind of money, especially during, after they made a lot and when you don't know where the economy is going to go, you got some pretty tough comps. But the NASDAQ fell 30% at its lowest point from its peak, and a lot of these stocks like Square, SoFi, DraftKings, PayPal, there's so many, it's ridiculous at this point, that are down just too much, like way too much. 60, 70, 80% on Square, SoFi's, PayPal's of the world. That shouldn't be happening. That was way too much, way too fast. And so you're in a weird moment in time where until we get worse economic data, something that we aren't already pricing in, you're probably not going to see the markets react too crazy. Fed Jerome Powell, he's going to be the guy that is going to dictate the markets. Like, that's it. China, COVID lockdowns. We did have news today that they are ending their Shanghai lockdown. I don't know where else is going to be ending their lockdowns in China, but that was massively bullish for the markets today. Our retail sales came in at 0.9% month over month, like 18% positive year over year. So that was seen as very good. Month over month, a little bit less than what we expected. We expected about 1%, but after all, the way these analysts have been forecasting, it's like you're either right on expectations or you're like substantially below expectations. So the analysts, by and large, were right, and it could have been a lot worse. That's why the markets really rallied today, was those key reasons. The Fed, what they said, that's going to be the real kicker for tomorrow. How do the markets feel about it? Do they sell off the rally like we've seen with the Fed meeting? That's the key. How much do you want to bet now? Now that we know Joe Biden signs it at a different day? That's a good bet. That's a good bet. Man, I don't even know. That's a really good bet. Are you a gamer? If so, what's your top 3 games to play right now? Well, I like to play Fortnite with this female I'm talking to because she likes Fortnite. I like Fortnite. I play with people I know. Uh, so that's fun. That's really all I play. And I don't play a lot. But yeah, I do also like Battlefield, and I do like League of Legends. I like GTA. I like um that's pretty much it. Lot of shooting games. Why playing? Oh man. I was gonna say, dude, that is ballsy, Jay. That is so ballsy. I don't know, man. 80K on Luna. You know somebody out there is really putting like 100K on Luna. What is Luna doing today? That thing was a straight up rug pull. That's scary. It's a it's an interesting lotto to put like $50 on or something, but anything more than that, I'm no. I personally wouldn't do it. Like the odds of this thing ever coming back at all, very very small, very small. Like this thing is never coming back. Like let's be honest here. This is not coming back. Ever. Like somebody drained the liquidity pools and got out. And Unusual Whales did something that was really cool and put together the evidence. Not really why this happened, but that large investors, big money, they were notified before this happened. So it was definitely coordinated to a certain extent. Like, dude, yeah, rug pulled. It's so bad. They said, fuck retail. They said they can suck it. As long as we get paid, who even cares? Dirty, man, dirty. And he's got to play smart from here to hit that 25K. Then we are home, baby. Yeah. Yeah, the damn PDT is so annoying sometimes. Especially when you have a count less than 25K. And then if you break that, they won't even let you buy anything for 90 days. If you get a PDT warning and you still trade, even though you got a PDT flag or whatever, they will disable your buying for 90 days. Like, dude, we just want to buy the dip, okay? And then we want to sell out the same day. Fuck you guys. NVCN right now and up now. NVCN. I mean, yeah, it was up 8% today. Oh, they did a reverse split. Oh, they killed it. Fuck. Oh, man. You guys know how I am with these reverse splits. You just gotta stay away from them. You got to. Like, there's usually not a trade to be had with a company that does a reverse split. How come you don't cover the BBIG play? Well, because I get enough hate for covering AMC, to be honest, and not enough people actually care about it to that degree. And tomorrow's the 18th, so that's the last day, I believe. Yeah, tomorrow's the last day to cover on your short, or you will be liable to pay out the dividend by after hours tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell out my options coming the 19th. Yeah, probably like midday. I might push it to the end of the day. They're 2023 options, but the stock will go down after it pays out that dividend. But who knows? I mean, the market's weird right now, but someone on Trey's stream bought in at 0.001 Luna. Oh my gosh. He must have made some money then, right? I'm terrible with all the zeros. Like, is that 1/100th of 1 penny? Is that what that is? 0.001? I think, right? 1/100th of a penny? Or 1/10 of 1 penny. Right? Something like that. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Let's go. What's going on, White? We all need to clear up the BBIGV ticker and BBIG ticker issue. I would have to look into that, actually. Why is it? What? What? I don't know why that's a thing. It doesn't even say it's like warrants or anything. I'm an island boy in the Niner gang. Banger, bro. I should make an Island Boys song. That would go hard. 1,000? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I'm gonna put my money in bitch ass Brady. BBIG is merging with BBIGV, tied as a dividend. Oh, okay. That kind of makes sense. But ain't gonna beat the Niners. 49ers gonna make it out of their division. I like the 49ers. I also like the Oakland Raiders. And I like the Detroit Lions, but they can't do shit. BBIG shareholders must hold until dividend distribution day, May 27th, to get tied. Shorts will try to get out of position, stay in the play. From my understanding, record day is the day of which they take record who owns stock, and then that's the day that you would be liable to pay on. Like, the record day for like dividend stocks is, I believe, like 2 weeks before the dividend is actually paid out. So coming on that record day, if you have shorts on a dividend stock and record day comes, and that's partly why they do tend to go up as well. Say it's a 2% dividend or whatever the number is, you would have to pay that out in a cash value once the dividend comes out. Like, they wouldn't necessarily have to pay it out the record day, but they would have to pay it out coming the dividend day. So no matter what happens after the record day, they still have to pay out the dividend by the dividend payment day. Kind of confusing, but I've done the arbitrage strategies. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's not even worth it a lot of the times. But let's collab on a song, dude. I'm down. Favorite rapper, man. You seen the Island Boys boxing? That was hilarious. The energy and oil prices aren't sustainable. I like drip. I like drip too. I like drip. Yep, give me them dividends. I'm gonna drip it into my portfolio, and then it's gonna compound and compound and compound. The Vegas Raiders, Oakland Trainers. Mike Hunt and roast beef. I got 5 minutes. Tell me your prediction for tomorrow, please. Well, for the broad markets, I think it's either going to be one of two ways. I think we either see like what we seen during the last Fed meeting, the markets really brushed off a lot of the hawkish Fed comments. We gave it time over the night, and then the markets sold off. Or you could see a bullish day because we got pretty much all of the economic data out the way. We got the Fed out the way. Sometimes a lack of bad news is good news for the markets. Does that make sense? At the same time, with AMC stock, I do expect to see continued upside momentum. Even the move in after hours up 3.64%. Looks like to be a substantial move. We up 10.16% on the day, 3.64% in after hours. Very, very substantial momentum that we are seeing. And now with this move in after hours, we are above $13 per share. That was the last level. That was really the low back here, March 14th, that we did hit. That was $12.90 to be more specific. And then we bounced right off of those levels and went on a 200% plus rally, as you guys know, during this time frame after after 2 Fed meetings ago. If you kind of look at it in that perspective, the executive order, the fact that we already got earnings out the way, we got our inflation data out the way, we got the Fed out the way this week, we've got a lot of bad news out the way. So until something gets worse, then I don't really think there's going to be like a lot of downside pressure on a lot of stocks. But I will say, they're still out there buying puts. Like, they're still doing it. For AMC, not as much right now. But if you look at certain equities like a SoFi, the put activity is absolutely insane. Like the dollar amounts in puts, dude, these positions are massive. May 20th, $10 put, 7.8 million. $6.05 million order, $4.43 million order, $1.67 million order. All of these are for short-term puts, either May 20th, July 15th, or June 17th puts. So lots of put activity still going on out there, and that could drive the markets a lot more than you would even think, like shorts covering, because the market makers, given where we are at with especially the calls that are in the money, and out of the money, as well as puts that are in the money, there's a lot of potential buying power for this week on the option chain, and I don't think a lot of people fully realize that still. Like out of the money puts is sitting at 240,000. You're only at 27,000 that are in the money. So obviously that would be like a typical gamma squeeze you would think of. At the same time, look at the puts that are in the money. 92,000 puts that are in the money. So if AMC does continue to have 10% days like we're seeing right now, that's a lot of double-sided buying power that has to go, be bought on the open markets by the market makers. And that's very, very substantial. So we'll see. Obviously, there's no guarantees. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't base your investments off of what I say, because I could be right, I could be wrong. I just strive to be an opinion here, to somewhere where you don't get fed bullshit. But I don't really see too many negative things that are going to happen for the overall markets and for AMC stock here in the near-term future. Like, you've got everything out the way pretty much, from what I could tell. Like I said, you got inflation. GDP report doesn't come out for a while. You got the Fed out the way. You got all the earnings out the way for the most part. China's starting to open up, so that's going to be very, very bullish for markets. And that's probably why a lot of stocks that are like higher multiple stocks, or I shouldn't even say that now, because a lot of value stocks are more expensive than a lot of these stocks that have gotten beaten down. But the fact China opening up, that's going to potentially ease the inflationary pressure, and that's potentially going to fuel a lot more buying back into these stocks that have been beaten down, AMC included. So lots of potential buying power here. Not really a lot of shorting power on the option chain. Like, you only have 27,000 calls that are in the money, 97,000 puts that are out of the money. You got a much higher ratio of out the money calls and in the money puts that could potentially add to that buying pressure. So I think it's pretty damn good. And I don't want to make any specific predictions for tomorrow, but I do think a 5 to 10% day tomorrow is definitely not off the table. Like, it wouldn't surprise me to see that. Call it that. So, yeah. Thank you for the Subway sandwich, my friend. I mean, inflation is so high, I don't even know if $4.99 can get you any footlongs anymore. I don't even think that'll get you a $5 hot and ready. They should change it to like a $7 hot and ready. They're crazy. I don't know who they think they're fooling with the $5 hot and ready bullshit. But yeah, August SPY puts are expensive. Everything's expensive. Everything is expensive. Like calls and puts, because the markets are so confused. They don't know what to do. Like they don't know where to price things in at. Oh yeah, I live pretty far from that. That's like on the Ohio border. Man, that's crazy. On my way to Subway for dinner. Man. No option as they didn't see for a month, and MOS will come the day after. That would not surprise me. Gas costs more than a blunt in Cali. Yeah, dude. The gas is insane. We're almost up to $5 a gallon in Michigan right now, too. I think I paid like $4.59 today. Driving through Michigan, highway was just dead deer everywhere. Yeah, so many dead deer. I have to dodge deer every day. I'm yet to hit one, but I've hit like 2 raccoons, like 2 possums. Like I've hit a lot of raccoons and possums over the last couple of weeks here. I don't know. They get confused, bro. I'm like swerving. I'm going like 60, 65, 70. I'm like, man, just get out the road. Because I'll see them, and they'll just go back and forth. Like they don't know what to do. They're all panicked out. And then it's like they always make the last turn, the wrong turn at the last second. I'm like, oh. 670 in Cali? No wonder they're trying to give out inflation checks. That's crazy. Don't sleep on it. Could move. Surprise and send it. Yeah, GME can definitely move. Biden released the strategic oil reserves to lower gas prices. What gives? Yeah, it was such a low amount that it didn't do anything. What they need to do, if they really wanted to lower gas prices, which is surprising they don't want to, because you're in like a midterm year. Like it's obvious they don't want to lower gas prices. Like the federal government does not want gas prices lower. For whatever reason that is, maybe they're in line, their pockets are being lined by oil. Something's going on there. But all they would have to say is that we are going to start drilling on federal lands again. We're going to open the Keystone Pipeline. We're going to do XYZ. We're going to get these gas prices down. Just them saying that they were going to start up the Keystone Pipeline again would make oil drop probably 10%, like the next day. So it's like not even being political here. They don't want oil to go down, which I'm kind of mind blown, honestly, given it's a midterm election year. Like if gas prices stay high this whole year, if the cost of living continues to increase and the stock market is down in a midterm year, that's not very good historical odds to seeing your political party winning the majority or keeping the majority. It's very unlikely. Like even if you don't drive and you invest in stocks, you're pissed off, right? If you don't invest in stocks and you drive, you're pissed off. So basically everybody is pissed off at the government. Like don't even matter what political spectrum you are on. Like it's obvious what's happening. They're trying to force Powell to crash the market. Yeah, that's such bad politics though. So bad. So bad. Biden doesn't want to get reelected. Yeah, I don't think so either. He would be like really old too. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. I know we were a little bit late today, but we got some things we need to do here after the stream. NASDAQ is down about 0.14%, S&P down 0.07%, and the Dow Jones is down about 0.03%. So that is it thank you guys for tuning in. Love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Vlog, Mista, Creamy Goodness, Keith, the dude. What is going on, the dude? Appreciate all you guys. All the mods in here. Cheese Chaser, we got Chris. We got all you guys. Don't think for a second I don't remember every single name that comes in here every single day. So, thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you